Hi and welcome to Walker Tea Review. I'm Jason Walker. We're looking at a black tea today. Before we get into it, this is we're coming up on, or we've just passed the 1 year anniversary, the 1 year birthday of Walker Tea Review. We started our first, or we posted our first review back in November 25th. Today, as you'll be watching this, or this is going to come out Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving. It's been a great year. We made a lot of inroads together with tea companies, drawing out their teas, having them come to us and say, we want you, you have an ideal platform for introducing our teas to an audience. Our next goal for the year to come is going to be to engage, to motivate, to mobilize the tea community, to say, yes, these are the teas that you're showing that we want, and next time we want to come and say, these are the teas we want to see and taste together, so that we've got a voice going to the tea companies saying, look, this is what we want. This is what we want you to offer, so that we can come together. We can share, we can talk, we can enjoy, we can learn about teas, we can taste together. Along with that, we're going to have to show the tea companies that yes, we are tasting together, we are enjoying these teas, and that we are interacting, so that we are a lively audience. That's one of our areas for growth for the next year. We're going to look at a tea today, kind of an anniversary or a special occasion here, but we're going to be looking at a tea from TeasEtc. We're going to be talking about their Golden Pearls here. So let's get it started. TeasEtc is actually, if you'll go back and look, TeasEtc has been with us, working with us for nearly since the very beginning. Okay, so we're adding that was about half a teaspoon there or so. Here's another half, and yeah, when you spread that out in our tasting cup, you've got the bottom of that tasting cup covered. This tasting cup, by the way, before I forget, is from Adagio. It comes with the taster's bowl, the standard set of a professional tea taster. Our water has been brought to a good heavy boil, and we're going to add that water to about 1/4 of an inch below the opening, the bottom of the opening there, which is kind of our spout we pour through. Let's get this water out of the way. Set that aside. Let that work its magic. As we talk a little bit about this tea, again, this was TeasEtc's Golden Pearls. Let's see what else. 1 ounce is available for $9.95. This is a Yunnan tea, which is from southwestern China. Okay, southwest China, bordering on Tibet, that area. You can find out a little bit more. There's a tea map I've created, which hits a lot of the significant or tea areas that we've covered as far together here on Walker Tea Review. We expect that map to expand and get more dots placed on it. So yeah, that takes care of information about the background of this tea. We're going to be talking about the dry leaf, the wet leaf, the liquor, and as we do so, you will want to think about next year, even perhaps as this year closes up. What are some teas that you want to taste? What do you want to learn about teas? You can go up to the How to Taste page. Click on that. There's a link there. Click on that link to go to the page. Get your equipment ready. Okay. Perhaps you want to add something to your Christmas list of a tea tasting cup, a gaiwan, a clay teapot. Those are things to look for. A tea kettle is always handy. So yeah, after you get that, then you want to go over to the future episodes page. You want to order in advance so that you can have your teas ready. You can have them in front of you. You have your basic equipment, even a little spoon, a cup, and that you can go through, follow along as we taste. Now, as you do, we're going to be looking at our dry leaf and talking about it first. First off, you get a significant, a strong, malty smell coming off of this. Kind of a bit of with a little bit of sweet tobacco along that as well. So, good strong aroma coming off right away. A lot of your, there are several Yunnan black teas with that golden name at the beginning, which have a similar smell. So it's a nice sweet malty type smell. Let's take a look at these leaves. These have been rolled into a ball, hence the name pearl, of course. What you are seeing is they are also very fuzzy, which means these are probably very young, tender type leaves. They are golden in color, indicating that's what happens when you deeply oxidize some of your more tender, younger tips, buds. So that's there. But you're also getting the dark, rich, seal brown type of colors that are coming from the leaves that are, have matured a little bit more and oxidized more deeply. So nice, rich aroma. Standard shapes and color. Well, standard colors. The shape, the rolling, the ball there is a little bit unique. You will find other golden pearls or other similar type teas that have been rolled. Okay, so that takes care of the dry leaf. We're going to go ahead now and talk a little bit about our wet leaf, and we're going to pour in order to do that. So we're getting out our towel, get it ready to catch any drips. The glass is up here. Now with a taster's cup, this particular taster's cup does not have a hole in the lid, which means you need to let the air flow through so you don't dribble as you pour. So to solve that problem, you stick your thumbnail in between your rim, the top of your cup, and your lid there, and that gives you enough opening that should allow enough air to pour through. So we're going to quickly tilt this. There we go. Nice, dark, rich color coming off of this. Okay, get those last few drips out. Of course, the bottom liquor at the bottom of the cup, I should say, stays down close to the leaves, and so it often is a stronger, deeper color and has a richer flavor. So that's why you want to pull out those last drops. If you're re-steeping, going to reuse, sometimes people will prefer to leave some of those that in there, kind of a base for steeping the next cup, which is handy. If your second steeping is lighter, is a little bit weaker, you've got a little bit of that left over, that kind of seed from the first steeping to compensate. The other thing we're going to note about using a taster's cup is it's very handy for looking at the wet leaf, and as we do that, we're going to take a smell here before we go into looking at the leaf. Still, you're getting you're still getting that malty type smell coming off. You're getting some of the kind of sweet tobacco element as well. You're also getting a very faint kind of sourdough bread coming off. So it's got a bit of that kind of sweet, sour note to it as well. Yeasty type. But again, that's lighter and more subdued in comparison to the other aromas. Okay, now for looking at our leaf, here's what we're doing. One, we're keeping our fingers away from the rims as much as possible, and from touching too much of the side because that's still hot. We're going to turn it over, give it a nice shake, and those leaves are right there on top of the lid. How handy is that? Now, as we look at our leaf, we're going to look at a few things. Now, remember, these were rolled up into a ball, so now they have unfurled, and you have nice needle-shaped tender leaves that you can kind of unroll. Actually, these are too large to really be called buds or tips, that kind of needle, but they are long, slender leaves. in that respect. So whether when they're rolled, they are very needle-like. Okay. Again, these leaves you're seeing still a nice, like a russet auburn type color. You are getting leaves that are, let me think about the length of this one, for example. Here, this one's over an inch, probably inch to an inch and a half in length. You've got consistent colors now throughout. You've got long, slender leaves that are curling up around the main vein. Yeah, that's it. So much for that. I'm not seeing a lot of leaf pairs. I'm seeing mostly individual leaves here. Yeah. That was a very small needle with a fragment of part of its leaf connected to it. Okay, so we'll set that aside. We've talked about our wet leaf. We're going to go into our liquor. So give this one a nice swirl, get it started off, releasing the aromas. Let it cool off a little bit. Flavors change as the temperature changes. Sometimes flavors come out a little more strongly as the liquor cools. So we've got a nice, that is a deep reddish, almost like a plum brown red. This is resembling like a port wine type of ruby red there. Okay, but from the side there, it's also it's kind of a brownish red, kind of a tawny port as well. Still the dominant aroma is that malty type smell coming off. Malty in its texture, its taste as well. One of the things that's already hitting me in the aftertaste, it's got a bit of a briskness to it, a little, subtly bitter or astringency to it. Yeah, a little bit of bitterness to it as well, light bitterness. So the aftertaste gives it a hotter feel to it. It feels extremely warming in the back of your mouth. The actual taste and texture in your mouth, body's pretty light actually. It doesn't give you a heavy broth type feel in the mouth. Almost a little bit salty as well as far as the taste goes. You especially on the front of your tongue, of course, you're getting a salty type taste to it. Yeah, let's give it one more shot. So yeah, okay. Now, looking at this tea as a whole, fuzzy, golden colored, typical, standard colors and shapes and aromas coming off the dry leaf. Our wet leaf, unfurled, gave us consistent colors throughout. Let's see, we had long, slender leaves, fairly young leaves or medium-sized leaves. And texture, smells, aromas still were that malty type smell. But when we get to our cup, we had a rich, dark cup. Again, that's related to your steeping parameters also. The salty texture that we had there, the maltiness still came out. Sweetness, any kind of honeyed sweetness there was very faint, if any. The aftertaste went over towards a kind of a harsher, bitter briskness to it, and the body was not as soft or not that soft or gentle, so it didn't have that malty coating feel to it throughout the mouth. Okay, so because of it wasn't the smoothest cup that we've had of this kind of Yunnan type black tea that contains these characteristics. We gave this one an 83. We'd like to see a smoother, gentler aftertaste, and a bit stronger, wider, more rounded body with a hint of kind of tobacco type sweetness, or a deep, maybe even towards, some of them will pull a bit of a peach type black tea sweetness that you get, that's characteristic of some of your other more traditional type black teas. Stone fruits are some of the elements similar to black teas. So again, this was TeasEtc's Golden Pearls that we looked at together. Kind of here at the close of Walker Tea Review's first year. Looking forward to next year tasting with you again.